So basically I took like a Pepto-Bismol type medicine, and I just changed out my work clothes. Let me show y'all. I'm wearing this Emily in Paris lipstick from Bath and Body Works. It's in the shade Bonjour Blossom, for anyone wondering. It's like a really nice pink. And then my purse, this is my purse for the day. I want to switch my purse again soon. So I technically kind of got an early start to my weekend because I'm off tomorrow, which oh, one sec. So I will be off tomorrow because I have to go to court, basically to see if a judge is going to reduce my fine, which I talked about this last year. So my original fine from my reckless driving essentially charge, which was like 1,700 something before all the fees, and then basically with all of the additional fees it's now like 2,500. I paid $1,000 towards it like within the first 3 months, but after that it was like I was always struggling to make the payments because I would be in between my paychecks. So I would literally have maybe like less than $100 in my account, because as y'all know, or some of y'all know, currently my budget limits me to $100 per week, and that's for food, gas, any extra spending. Like I have to stay under $100 each week. So I was not really didn't really have much left over. I would get paid, pay my bills, put whatever I could aside for my savings, and I would literally only have $200 left in my account to manage. And the payments that they wanted me to make were $250 a month. And basically the longer I took to pay it, the more expensive it got. And I wanted to it was so much. But basically my probation officer had told me that since I have like a hardship, I could potentially just get the fine reduced, because I was gonna try to do the community service hours to make up for what I didn't pay, but it would be like 100 more hours, or over 100 hours. Granted, the initial hours I had was 60 hours of community service. So, and that took me, and I was only able to get that done because I didn't have set hours during the week. Like I was still at my old job where I could work around my hours, but with my current schedule, like I would pretty much only be able to do maybe 8 hours a week, but on the weekends. But the weekends I also have other things that I have to get done, or that I would want to get done. So really there wasn't a lot of time for me to do 100 hours of community service in like a timely manner. Like that would still be like 4 months or maybe more. It took me 3 months to do 60 hours, so it was pretty much probably double that. But anyways, I don't know how it's gonna happen. Basically what I was just gonna let them know is like I ended up losing more income than the fine would have cost me. So it's just like, if they're wanting me to pay a fine because something cost me money, I'm just like, the fact that I can no longer do Instacart or forms of income I relied on to have savings and to make my bills, a lot of the time, you know, that took away 2 sources of income I had. So I definitely lost more money than even the fine was. So I don't know if that would be considered a hardship in a court of law, but you know, it's really is like just another consequence that has a monetary penalization that I feel like should be considered as well. I don't know, because I literally can't do either of those anymore. Like, my accounts were deactivated because of the arrest. Even before I went to court, my accounts were deactivated. So that really sucked. Well, it really sucked at the time, and it was hard because I was already struggling with the job that I had when I wasn't getting enough hours. Also having gone almost over 2 months not getting paid because I had basically my first 2 paychecks at my job all went to taxes. So I have been overpaying towards my taxes, not knowing, and just so much other stuff, which I still need to also file my taxes as well. But just so much of my situation, I'm just like, you know, I thought I would be able to pay the $256, but I literally don't have anything left over after I pay my bills from each paycheck. Like, I still am living paycheck to paycheck, and it's hard to budget for certain things. And also I have to pay rent now, so paying rent on top of already on a very, very tight budget, like, there's literally nothing left over. And my savings, basically I could either prioritize paying a fine or having a place to live, and I'm just like, I'm gonna choose having a place to live over paying a fine, because that takes, I guess, precedence, I guess, as more of a necessity than the fine. So we'll see how it goes in court. I don't want to get my hopes up for anything, and also if they ask me how much money's in my account, I have literally $50 in my savings and less than $100 available on my credit card. So it's like, it's not like, and I just got paid yesterday. Like, after I pay all my bills, there's literally barely anything left, and what is left is really not enough to cover, I guess, what they want, or what is everything that's expected of me is more than what I can truly manage on my own. But I'm just doing my best. I'm doing my best to keep up. Thankfully, my car insurance is paid, my rent is paid, all of my bills for the most part are up to date at the moment. So, and that's all everything that I have left has to get me basically till my next paycheck. So that's also something that I think, when you're living paycheck to paycheck, and this is not my, you know, this is not including the money that I was giving to my mom. This is just the money that I manage. Basically, I don't have excuse me, much money left over between my paychecks. So that's why it's like, unless I have enough the day after, like, once I make sure the bills that have to get paid are paid, there's really not much left, which is why I typically had ended up never having enough when it was time for me to see my probation officer, because it would be like right before my paycheck, and then when I got paid, I would have to pay everything, and it's like I literally am barely surviving with what I had. And my paychecks, by the way, they fluctuate, as I've explained, because my hours, I have like set clients. So I have permanent clients in the morning and the afternoon, which when they both come, is about 38 hours a week. However, a lot of times either one client will show up or another client won't show up, and so I have to leave early, or I was sick, or whatever. You know, life happens, and I don't have the stable hours I would like, where if something happens, I know I will still have like a full paycheck. So like this week I only got 25 hours, and that's with 5 hours, me using 5 hours of my personal time to cover my going to court tomorrow. And I didn't put in any hours yet for missing yesterday, because I started the year off, y'all, with 94 hours PTO. I currently only have 36 hours left, and we're only in the second month of the year, and those 34 or 36 hours I have left have to last me till the end of this year, because I don't get sick pay. So anytime I had to make up my hours because my client wasn't there or because I was sick, I have to pull from that 94 hours PTO. I have already missed like 7 days this week due to illness, and I've also had my clients not show up. And I think when my clients don't come up, I don't always use my PTO to cover it, but sometimes I do. And basically I've already used up over 50 hours of PTO, and the year is barely started. So that doesn't give me a lot of confidence that, you know, I'll be able to get through the rest of the year, because like I said, I can't afford to be sick. I can't afford to miss any days of work. I can't afford for my client to not come, because I'm already living on such a tight budget. So it is kind of stressful, but I'm doing the best I can with what I've got. Like, I still feel like, thankfully, I'm able to still pay all of my necessities. It's just I don't really have anything extra. So like having to pay a fine, having to pay anything unexpected is really hard for me to put in my budget, since I'm already kind of in a deficit as it is. I have all of this debt I still have to pay off as well. So it's just like there's so many other factors that I'm not even talking about, just because it would be too much. It's too much for me most days, but for my current situation, I feel like I'm okay. I had enough money to cover my rent. I had enough money to cover my car insurance. I paid off what I owed this week for Klarna, most of what I owed this week for my Zip, and I'm caught up on all my other bills. So for right now, I'm happy with where I'm at, and it's really just like keeping myself on the budget that I have. And honestly, I would not be able to survive without having the pay in 4 plans, because to be quite honest with y'all, I've had to use Zip Pay to cover groceries sometimes because I didn't have enough to get what I needed. So those pay in 4 plans, even though I don't really like using them, they sometimes do come in very helpful, like if I need groceries or necessities at Target, and especially having to make $100 a week stretch essentially. So yeah, definitely not the best feeling. And right now my savings are kind of in limbo at the moment, because now I'm paying rent, and paying rent, the money I was saving was basically in lieu of rent. So paying rent means that money's not going to instead of the money I wanted to save going towards savings, it's now going towards bills. So that's the other part of it. Like, the most I'll maybe be able to save now is maybe like $200 from each paycheck, maybe. But I literally just explained to you guys how, you know, my pay, I just got paid and I literally have less than 200 left after getting paid. So really, I'm not exactly at even having $200 that lasts me a week. But I do get my YouTube, I think I get my YouTube payment next or tomorrow, but it's not a lot. Whatever I get paid tomorrow is not going to be a lot. So I really don't have high expectations for that. And that's money that I'll try to put towards my savings as well. So yeah, so much I have to figure out and work through. I might potentially have I don't even want to talk. I still don't feel like I should want to update my living situation, because at this point I don't know what's going on. All I will say is my dad has officially sold the house, and I think that's all I'm gonna say for now, because there's really nothing else that I know for sure will be able to there's still nothing certain about my living situation, basically. So I don't know, I don't want to say too much, not because I'm like trying to, it's not like a huge secret or anything, it's just like I truly don't have, there's not enough information I even know to share with you guys. So sharing stuff without having like the full picture is not going to be very helpful. Anyways, that's all.